You know what? We're always on here talking about all the sad shit that goes on in the community with the Lakota people. I just wanted to take a moment to shed some light on something good. This woman opened up a children's shelter, and I just wanted to share the article with you. 7 years ago, a Google search sparked an idea in Genevieve Skidmore's mind. Her desire to help homeless children through Native American ministry led to the creation of the Ogallala-based NAOMI House. Skidmore, an Oglala Sioux tribe citizen, didn't always know what her calling was. As an adult, she moved to Arizona where she felt drawn to ministry. This is how she found a little house in the Navajo Nation, a shelter for indigenous children called the Native American Outreach Ministries, the NAOMI House. Youth ages 10 to 19 account for the highest percentage of Pine Ridge population at 21%, followed by 0 to 9-year-olds at 20%. Of those under 18, 55% live below the poverty line, more than 4 times the U.S. average of 12.6%. Additionally, Native children are heavily underrepresented in the South Dakota foster care system, despite making up just 13% of the state's overall child population. As of 2020, Native kids accounted for 74% of those in the foster care system. The location of the NAOMI House allows Oglala Lakota foster children to stay in their own communities and often in the same school districts. This kind of structure is crucial for children, said House Manager Katie Ford. Success in general for us is not about more houses or more beds. It's about the healing and unification of biological families and systemic transformation for communities. The NAOMI House can be many things for a child in need. It can be a home for a foster child, a shelter for abused children, or for those experiencing homelessness. Workers can also provide food, safety, clothing, and more on an emergency basis. The current facility is capable of housing up to 8 children. Immediately after opening, children began walking through the doors. Since August, 10 children have been through the shelter and 4 currently live there. Ford, who is of Eastern Band of Cherokee Nation descent, strives to keep kids engaged with their culture as house mother. Her goal is to make sure every child leaves with a ribbon skirt or ribbon shirt, something many of them don't have, Ford said. We strive to preserve and honor their culture, Ford said. It's so cool for them to be a part of creating the items, too. Ford was drawn to the NAOMI House to help Native kids. In 2020, she spent 36 hours volunteering at the Navajo Nation NAOMI House and was immediately hooked. 2 hours after getting home from volunteering, she applied to live in the house. Several community members have donated goods, services, and an entire school bus to the NAOMI House. The organization strives to meet the tribe's needs by working directly with the tribe. This is a firm perspective that I'm coming with, and it's a perspective that has carried NAOMI House for 30 years in the Navajo Nation, Skidmore said. Children can regularly attend Lakota ceremonies and have access to cultural programming. Ford said once the NAOMI House is settled, she plans to invite Oglala Lakota citizens to teach classes on beadwork, regalia making, and powwow dancing. The Navajo Nation NAOMI House does its own form of cultural programming, and that model will be applied at the new Oglala House. We strive to be one big family. Kids are able to come and go, and we're providing all the basic necessities of an emergency shelter and even into long-term foster care type situations, Skidmore said. Some kids may stay a few hours, others a decade. It all depends on the situation. In the future, the house will expand to offer several different buildings, including a cultural center and volunteer bunkhouses. Skidmore's goal for the future is to establish a NAOMI House on the 8 other reservations in South Dakota. You can go to their website for more information.